everybody. All right, first of all, I want to thank God. Without God, I have nothing. I am nothing. And I'm just eternally grateful for everything. I want to thank my family, my husband, my handsome husband, who's my #1 cheerleader, who actually, when I decided to quit my nursing job for almost 26 years in the business, he, as a nurse, he just said, okay, and it was history ever since. I do want to say thank you to my team. I love you guys. I have teammates over there, teammates here, over there. I have teammates, all over the United States. I'm licensed in over 36 states. And I do want to say that I have 2 teammates here. One from New Jersey. Can you please stand up? They drove here from New Jersey. Annalie and Chris. And I have Bobby and Argel. They're from North Carolina. Drove like 7 hours in traffic to get here to this event. So I want to give them a shout out. Thank you so much. Where do I begin? So, how much time? 10 minutes. Okay. So my story, like Samir said, was I had been a client since 2007. I had a life insurance with a company. I had my husband and I, and we had actually rolled over our investments from our different jobs that we had, our 401ks, and I rolled it over to Samir. And after that, I never looked, just because I knew that I was ignorant and he was the expert. And after that, unfortunately, years after, we experienced illness and cancer in our family. And that was an eye-opener. He was only 40 years old when he was diagnosed, and I was like, damn, my husband and I better really take our stuff seriously and sit down and figure out what to do. And when I met with, I met with Samir again, and he's always followed up with me. I was just the one that was always busy because I was, we were raising our kids. Now our kids are 25 and 28, and I have 3 dogs. But we are very pleasantly surprised to see our investment accounts. And I said, Samir, I want to learn this. The best way to make money is when you don't have to work for it. So we were basically making money while we were sleeping, literally, okay? And I said, okay, Samir, and I know he tried to recruit me before. It wasn't, at that time it wasn't for me, just because I didn't have time, and that was my fault, right? So I had no experience, no financial background. Former occupation, I was an RN, a registered nanny, that's what it really means. And I didn't really go full-time until 2021. Now, like Samir said, when I started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And you know what? I really just wanted to learn about investing, and I didn't really want to do the business itself. But what really threw me off was the fact that a lot of families out there are, like Peter and Tia said, they're being brainwashed, literally brainwashed, to think that cash value life insurance is a retirement plan. It is absolutely not. And I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples that my clients that have been, brainwashed to do that, right? And matter of fact, some of them are here. They're my clients, and they're part of my team, okay? And it really pissed me off, right? When you're pissed off, especially me, it's not pretty. It never is. And I said, Samir, let me do this. So I said, teach me how to read policies, and I did, and I learned, and I got really, really good at it. But of course I didn't know everything. Now, Samir was a great mentor. He did all my appointments for like a year to 2 years. And basically, I was the credibility. He would sit with my clients, and I would be like, just kind of chiming in a little bit. He did all the work, and I made like $30,000 in my first year, spare time. Now, $30,000, you might think that's not a lot of money, but $30,000, when you take it all in the bank, that's a lot of money. With my nursing income, with my husband being in IT, okay? So, and I was scared to death. I'm like, damn, I gotta pay taxes on this, right? Anyways, I'll get to that. Now, part-time, I was like, you know what? I can really do this. I got my investment license within 1 year. My income went to 70 to 80,000 without me having a team. Why? Because I was hungry. I was hungry to help the community. I was hungry because I hated the fact that people that I cared about were getting screwed over time and time again, right? And then I got pissed off at my job because they wanted me to do something that I didn't want to do. Ever heard of that at your job? They make you do something you don't want to do? And you work hard, right? I work very hard, right? But you get compensated for the hard work? No, you get more freaking work. That's how it works. That's how a job works, right? So I said, you know what? They don't want me to, they want me to do something I don't want to do. I freaking quit. Thank God my husband said, go for it. Within 4 months, I crossed over $100,000 of income. That was October 2021. I gave you my resignation. My last day was supposed to be 10/31, Halloween. I freaking called in sick. Yes, I did. Now, why do we want to be in financial services? Number one, this company, you just need $124 to start. 3 years full time, I'm almost at $300,000. I don't care what other people say, it's a pyramid scam, this and that. If they don't have what you want, you better not listen to their ass. I'm telling you, right? $124 translates to $300,000 of income eventually, and Bruce off $2 million on his yacht? Come on now. The expansion is just immense, right? You can hire as many people as you want. You don't have to worry about payroll, right? Like you said, Bruce, right? Everything's taken care of. Legal's taken care of. It's recession-proof. When COVID hit, people lost their jobs, they were fired, whatever, laid off. We thrived. It's duplicatable. If you teach people what you do and they teach the next person what you do, or so forth and so on, you can make an override. Can you ever make an override as an employee? Hell no. I didn't know anything about money. But now you ask me about money, I still don't know everything, but I know more than the average person does. And that's all you need. You just need to be a little bit better than the person you're going to talk to. And you can learn everything. It's flexible. I started spare time. I would only do things when I could, right, after I worked. But look where it got me. I didn't have an experience, and when I was talking about taxes, when that $30,000 I made extra on top of what we were already paying, right? What we were making, I was like, okay, $30,000, I better get at least 10 grand ready to pay taxes. I did not pay a single penny. I kept all $30,000, and I got $4,000 back from my W-2 that they paid that I had no control of. Why? Because when you're a business owner, you get to what? Spend money first, right? Before you pay the IRS. Who likes to pay a lot of taxes? No one. And we truly help people. This is my why. My first why was I want to learn about investments. When I saw people getting screwed over, this is what drives me. See, the more money you make in this business, the more you're helping people. And unfortunately, I had my first death claim that I paid here. It was my husband's brother. He was only 41 years old when he passed away with brain cancer. Shit gets real when people die. People say, oh, I don't want to get life insurance, it's an extra cost. But I'm telling you, if anybody's relying on that income, if your friend, your family, somebody's relying on that income, you gotta protect that family. We always say we love our family, but you don't love them enough to put $50 to $100 away to protect your family? But you can eat out and get a Starbucks every day? Come on. That's irresponsible, right? And you can have ownership. And then your friend can have ownership, and your friend's friend can have ownership. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be, experienced or anything. We'll teach you everything, okay? And why with Pinnacle? Well, as you can see the statistics. We have over $962 billion of life insurance in force. We're a publicly traded company on the top, Fortune 1000 company. We have $112 billion of assets under management. They want to call us a pyramid scam? Well, damn, we have $112 billion of clients' money under our management. You still want to call us a pyramid scam? Go to hell. We have over 151,000 licensed life insurance agents and over 25,000 securities licensed. So we can help families, right, properly protect their families and make sure that when they come to the point when they're retired, they're going to be comfortable. They don't have to work anymore, right? So what do you need to do? Well, you got to prospect and ask everyone. Most of the people here, right? Some of you said no to me at one point. Who said no to me here the first time? Raise your hands. It's okay. Yeah, you put me off, didn't you? You too. I see you. But you know what? Here they are now. It doesn't matter. One thing I take pride in is I work really hard. You just have to have that consistent, non-negotiable daily activity. Okay? And you know what? The lifeline of the business is setting appointments. Because if you're not setting any appointments, you're not helping any family. Right? Set appointments, go on appointments, help families. We teach our families how to make money and save money. Never underestimate what we do. And like Bruce said, and everybody says, you just got to show up. One of the big events that I attended, that was a deal breaker for me, and I just took off, and I never looked back. I've never missed a big event since. I missed the first one, and I was like, I didn't know what it was, but when I did go to one, I never missed it. Okay? Objections. You think I never got rejected? I get rejected. And I think I knew what I was doing, right? But it doesn't matter. You just say next. Because people say no to you in this business, they're saying no to greatness. They're saying no to an opportunity. They're saying no to financial independence. They want to go with a cash value agent, they deserve not to retire comfortably. Right? Golden rule. We always have to love our clients. I love my clients, I love my teammates, and you know, when I see what I have done, what our team has done, I'm very, very excited where we're all heading to. Almost done. Now what do you think? What do you have to think? You always have to have a positive outlook. No matter how bad things are, it's already bad. You stay positive, it doesn't matter. Gotta think big, don't think small. Not one business owner was successful right away, but every single business owner, they thought big. You gotta get wide and deep. Sometimes, like where's Michelle? Michelle, can you stand up? I'm putting you on the spot. Michelle, I didn't even know Michelle. She was referred to me. She was paying how much for life insurance? $1,000 a month. Sold by a good friend, right? Over $500,000 of coverage. And I looked at her policy and I said, Michelle, your death benefit is only $500-something thousand. You put in $24,000, her cash value is $20,000. Did she make money? But they told her it's an investment. I don't know about that investment, right? But you know, we replaced that with $110 a month. She has $890 to save, invest. Later on, she could have $2 to $3 million. Is she gonna care that she's not insured for $571,000? She's not. But this is what's out there, and this is what drives me, right? Always remember your why. There's a reason why you want to get better. You want to do better. I will always remember that my why is what? To help people consistently, right? The no's are not always permanent. You said no, I'm pointing out, but I love you guys, okay? But now you're here, okay? They say the business doesn't work. Right, Bruce? He said, that's not gonna work. No, fool. The business does not work if you don't work. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain in this business. Never did I think I would ever retire as a nurse, but you know what? I'm gonna kick ass. I'm gonna continue to kick ass, right? And I'm gonna end it with this quote. A wise woman once said, success doesn't come from what you think occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. Thank you very much.